Obviously, I'm
Destiny
going to
just
be
loves me.
editing. By the way, obviously, I'm going to be editing some of this out. I don't think this is fascinating content.
What?
Yeah,
Me and you talking about
yogurt.
XP boosters? I think it's fascinating.
Alright, how did you get over there?
Oh, it was kind of complicated.
That sounds about right. Well, we are back with
Well,
Ben.
it wasn't complicated, just like kind of, oh yeah, hey, what's up? Back with Ben.
Just Ben, who gives very good directions. So how do I do it? It's you know, it's stuff and work.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
You're probably not gonna make it.
No, I'm no. Anyway, we are back with Ben here, who no longer has cotton in his mouth. How is your mouth feeling?
Better? Better, yes, thank you.
all healed up.
Yeah. Even though I had some issues this morning, but we're getting there.
I would ask what they are, but I don't want to know.
Access codes are in.
My wife says I'm being a wimp. I have to just accept that.
Well, and you'd mentioned earlier that your wife actually, like, inspected your mouth, which in my opinion,
Oh, yeah.
one of the top reasons to get married is to have someone to look at dicey infected things and tell you how they look.
Yeah, well, if it was infected, she would care, but it's obviously not, so she doesn't. So.
I was working one time with this guy who was odd, to say the least, and how we worked was side by side, so we were both facing the same direction, sitting side by side, and he starts, like, scratching at his back, and I'm desperately trying to ignore him, because this is not a situation I want to be a part of. And eventually he just goes like, he pulls up the back of his shirt a little bit and like leans towards me and goes, "Does this look infected to you?" And I was like, "Nope, nope, nope, nope."
Yeah.
Like, nope. I'm sure there's something in the employee's handbook exempting me from this conversation.
Oh, I would guarantee that. There's a little public event over here. I'm gonna go kill these people.
Well, I would join you if I had any way of getting to you.
So the fast travel should be able to connect you to your fire team too, I think. That would be
that
cool.
would be nice. Wonder if there's like a faster fast travel. Oh.
It'd be like the fastest travel.
Fastest travel. Well, I was gonna say a fast travel that would like get me near you, but it does not look like it. Oh shit. Okay. All fire team members must unlock this.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll jump back and do my stuff, and then I'll just catch up.
Yeah, we'll chat. We'll chat while I go forth and get murdered.
I like it.
We'll each get murdered on our own accord.
Separately.
I had a fun time with Santa yesterday, where I definitely needed him to pop in because I was getting my ass kicked.
What level are you, Vex?
I just turned 16.
So on my little name tag, it says, under my light level, it says level 17, but under yours, it says 1074. Not level 1074, but it has like a little throwing star and it says 1070.
Yeah, so some of the emblems track things. So the emblem I have tracks the number of enemies you've eliminated as an Arc Strider.
Cool.
Whoa, God. I think you're leaving. Put me in orbit, jeez.
Oh, it took.
That's...
Well,
oh,
you're with
because
me.
you're
Why
the
did it take you with me?
Oh, because I
Oh.
joined you. That's why.
How are we doing?
We're the
so
best at
good.
Destiny. I'm not even sure how to leave. How do Jeez. Oh God, you're still fucking taking me with you. God damn it, Ben.
United again. While he prepares for the assault on the Almighty,
That's impressive.
We're the best at Destiny.
That's impressive.
We're great. We're great. We're good at this.
I'm impressed by what we were doing here.
We're wonderful at this game.
Which is strange.
Just everybody should aspire to be as good as you and I at just basic
Yeah.
life stuff.
I agree with that.
Uh,
What a world, what a time.
how can I wiggle out of your embrace? This is like when someone
I can kick you.
Oh, yeah, thanks. This is like when someone like falls asleep on top of you, and or not on top of you, because that would be insulting, but just kind of like drape
Wait a
over
second.
you.
So much for not being here.
Yeah.
Let's get
I gotta
to
go.
so I can pin down the safe location.
I'm just saying, gotta wiggle out of this sweaty embrace right now.
Slowly backs away. Okay, see you later. Just had an image of you on the subway, just with people like laid across your lap, everyone's sleeping.
I mean, that does happen pretty often. God, it's not letting me leave. I'm like holding Y. Okay, there we go. Bye. Good luck, have fun.
Getting us into this time.
See you later.
That was a fun little side quest. Friendship side quest. I've lost the plot of the day. I should warn anybody listening to this. It's noon on a Saturday, but that's a bit earlier than I would probably be up on a Saturday, and in fact I've been up for like an hour and a half, which is significantly earlier, but Ben wanted to play in the morning. I love Ben.
That's right. I've been up. I did go back to sleep though.
Did you?
After I woke up early, yeah, I woke up at like 5 and took some medicine, and then kind of read for a while, and then played this for a few minutes, and then I was like, all right, I think I feel a little better. I'm gonna go to sleep.
What are you reading?
Oh, I'm reading 3 books at once. I'm reading the 5 Love Languages,
Nice.
which is a good one, and then I'm reading like a sales book. I forget the name of it. I'm only like 50 pages into that. And then this other like book called Explicit Gospel by actually the guy who wrote it's a preacher in DFW, like real close to where Messi.
Oh, okay. Have him
Yeah.
go say hi for you.
Yeah. That's kind of a hard one to read. This dude's like super smart, and his sentences are all very like grammatically correct, but very, very long. Yeah, I don't love it. Like the way he speaks that way too, which is fine. It's easy to follow when someone's speaking that way, but when reading it, it's more difficult.
I could see that. Well, the five
Yeah.
love languages is very interesting. That's kind of been something that a lot of my friends have been discussing lately too, for some reason. I don't know. So the theory behind the 5 love languages is that everybody expresses and needs expressed to them different ways of communication, which I know is like not exactly rocket science, but there you go. The idea being that some people show affection via giving gifts, some show it via spending time with loved ones, some show it via like what they call words of affirmation, actually saying like, hey, I like you.
Right?
Some do it by acts of service, which is to say like, well, the person who will just kind of like silently change the oil in your car. What was that? Did I list it all? It was like acts of service, words,
Physical
time
touch.
spent, physical touch, physical
Yep.
touch. Speaking of wiggling out of hot embraces,
Yeah.
and so where relationships can kind of struggle is if some people want things expressed one way but express another, that also comes up. Or if two people like if to me the only way I can really show you I love you is by saying it, and if you're the kind of person who will never actually say the words but you will show it in other ways, that might not come through to me, and I'll just be, but why don't you love me? You don't say it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and so like what I like about it and what's helping me and is I'm an expressive person in a multitude of ways. But you know, my wife doesn't exactly receive in the same way that I express. So it's
Yeah,
the
that's
book.
tricky.
The book kind of Yeah, so the book is like, what I like about it is it's saying like, you know, it's work. You know, it's not like you got to work at it. Like you got to practice. You know, some people just say, oh well, I don't express that way, so it's not going to work out. But you know,
I mean, sometimes it's even just kind of like about identifying, like, so for example, like if my cat brings me a dead mouse, I know that in cat, even though that's not how I would prefer to have love expressed, I understand in cat language that's love. So it's kind of the
Right.
thing where it's like, as long as you can, it also just helps just knowing, like, okay, well, they may not be doing this thing that I like, but they're doing this, and that's their way of saying they love me, you know?
right.
Because, like, my
Yeah, so
dad's kind of like...
my wife is a very non-talker. She's quiet, doesn't like to talk, but my love language is words of affirmation. Like, just like when people say nice things to me. So, but once I realized that, like, I realized that for her to say something nice, like verbalize it, is a big deal, like, for her. And so, it means a lot more to me now, understanding that than it did before. Like, it still meant a lot to me before, because that was my love language, obviously, but understanding what it takes for her to do that makes it mean
Right.
much more. So that's another great thing about the book. It's kind of cool.
No, it's definitely my dad. My dad is like your wife. She just he doesn't, you know, he's not a talker, and
Yeah.
you know, but I recognize, like, when he nags me, like, your bank account's kind of low, like, that's actually that's actually his way of helping. Or saying, like, well, what are you gonna do about
Yeah.
it?
Right.
Show me acts of giving me money. No, I'm kidding. Actually,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like you. I kind of need to hear it, you know. I kind of need to actually hear what I mean to people, mostly because I'm neurotic and will just assume that I mean nothing unless I actually hear the words.
Yeah, but I think that's all right. I mean, I think that, you know, knowing that too, and you know, being able to communicate that with someone, it's good. It's good to know that and be able to say, this is my love language. We use it. I mean, so now there's several different books out. There's the marriage one, which is one I'm reading.
Mm-hmm.
Then we also have a children's one. So, you know, kids operate the same way. And then there's also like a professional one, like for the workplace, because like even though I'm a words of affirmation person at home, right? At work I may not be. Work,
Yeah,
I'll need
work is a little sketchy, though, 'cause
boss
what
to
if
tell me
you're-
how great I am?
What if your love language is like hugs from the boss or
Physical
something?
touch?
Like, yeah.
I love hugs. I'm probably a hugger. Oh no! I just jumped off this cliff. I think I died. Oh, I made it. Yeah, I think depending on your work environment, for sure, that sometimes love languages are not encouraged.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, getting gifts, getting hugs, maybe not the work love languages you should pursue. No, but I mean, to your point, like, love languages even matter in friendship. Like, that's the one thing
Oh,
to me where
100%.
it's like, you know, I've had friends who have kind of expressed, like, their friendship to me through, like, I would say acts of service, and that's unfortunately a little lost on me. Like, I actually need people to spend time with me. I need people to tell me that they care about me, and if they're not doing that, then all their lovely acts of service are just not going to register, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
This is
Okay.
I'm trapped in a cave by a very angry everything. I had a tank, I ruined the tank, and now I just wonder if I'm screwed.
Trying to save Cade. I got no time for your tank issues. I'm just kidding. Of course I have time.
Is there really no way to get another tank? Just drive this interceptor and hope for the best. Nope, there's no interceptor. Oh, I could summon another tank. Okay, don't worry. Everything's fine. This game didn't expect to punish me for my misuse of tankage. I'll tell you what, these these Cabal Scions are just like the absolute worst this time.
Oh gosh, I died. So I like so far, Destiny 2 is the same as It's like Destiny 1, but better.
Basically.
Like, it's got all the cool stuff of Destiny 1 that you liked. Great guns, super good looks, but like kind of the stuff you were missing out on, like the seamless integration from mission to mission, and you're not having to go to orbit every 5 seconds, and you know, the little stuff like that, quality of life stuff, I call it.
Even just going through the mission, like the fact that I haven't had to like go and holla at like people on the farm every 2 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a huge... Gosh, these things are rushing.
Good lord. My dead body is being humped by the tank that exploded.
Teabagged?
Yeah, basically. I just got teabagged by my own tank.
Baby dip?
Baby dip. We had
So is Beetle playing on Xbox, or is he...
He is.
Speaking of
He's
baby
playing with
dipping.
his friends,
He is?
though. Yeah. We have, so I'm the Jesus. I'm one of the moderators of our clan. We promoted Heat because Heat was already doing moderator level stuff. So we're like, do you just like want credit for the work that you're already doing, or like? And so
I haven't heard from Heat in a minute.
yeah. So then the other moderator is our friend Beetle, who invented the word baby dip because he got really mad one day. He was doing PvP, and he's like, oh, some guy just baby dipped me. We all said, what does that mean? And in Beetle parlance, baby dip is when someone kind of like starts to teabag you, and then like for whatever reason thinks better of it, so they just kind of like do just like a little partial crouch over you and then kip off.
Big fan of the baby dip.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a passive aggressiveness.
Well, it's also like, you know, if they come at you, like, oh, I just accidentally hit B briefly. It's like you have plausible deniability. It's like the plausible deniability teabag, you know.
That's right. Legally speaking.
It'll stand up in a court of law, definitely.
Oh, no doubt. I did it. Won the game.
What'd you do? Did you get shader?
No. Saved Cade. Or starting to. He's floating in some mirror dimension.
That he is. Yeah, that mission was tough. That was the one that I had to beg for help on.
Oh yeah, it was pretty... I think I'm probably like higher light than I would have been. I spent a ton of time in the EDZ early on, just doing public events. I didn't really know what was going on, so I think my light level kind of has helped me a little bit.
Yeah, because wait, what level are you?
I'm 17.
Oh, okay.
I'm light level like 180 or something.
Yeah,
177.
you're gonna have an easier time with that mission than I am, because you're like, you're actually higher level than me, and that's like 4 missions behind. So you good.
So I know this is an older movie, but I thought about you when we saw it. Did you see Wonder Woman movie?
I have not yet. I'm waiting for. I signed up for this thing called Movie Pass, where you can watch like unlimited movies for like $10 a month. As soon as that comes, I'm gonna hopefully find a theater where Wonder Woman is still running and go see it. Why'd you think of me though?
The Movie Pass thing. That's well, because like, you know, it's girl power and it's superhero. Not that you're like super girl power, but like it was a great movie, way better than I thought it was going to be. It was pretty clean. You know, we brought the kids and saw it. It was just a good one to recommend for people.
It looks good. I briefly had a gentleman caller, Guatemalan actually. I say that only because Santi's Guatemalan. So when I told him I was seeing a Guatemalan guy, he's like, I hope he does my people proud. It's like,
Oh boy.
Hey, you know, it's good to have friends who look out for you. But the
That's right.
Guatemalan used to call me Wonder Woman because he's like, you look just like Wonder Woman. And I was like, I really don't, but that's nice, so I'll take it.
Yeah, dang right you will.
Well, because the dark hair and the
I miss
light
Santy. I
eyes,
haven't
I
talked to
think.
him in forever.
I know. Well, I
I
think
haven't
now that
talked to
everybody's
anybody in a long time.
well, nobody's talked to anybody. We all kind of stopped playing, or we were well. There were a bunch of us who were playing Overwatch in the downtime. So we were all doing that, but now everybody's back. I think it'll be easier to overlap.
Yeah, I didn't really even. I didn't even play Destiny 1 probably for a couple, maybe a month or two.
Oh
And
yeah,
I was
no,
playing
I
it up until the.
definitely pulled back.
Work. I mean, new job was got like just. Oh no! Oh, I'm
That's right,
dying.
so Ben has changed it up. He was a professional golf dude for a while, but now
Golf.
he's not.
I was a golf professional. Big difference.
Golf professional.
Professional
not-
golfer and golf professional. Big differences.
He's not Tiger Woods, except in my heart,
No.
and when I describe him to my friends.
Yeah. All your friends probably think I'm like really good at golf. Like he like plays golf every day for millions.
I mean, that's the story I want them to believe. Yeah.
Well, my new
Sounds
boss
much-
is a golfer. That's actually how I met him, was from working at the golf course. And so like when we go to lunches and stuff, which we do a ton of, he's like one of the best golfers you'll ever know. I said my real name. Edit it.
Beep.
And I'm like, I'm really not that good, Doug. You're like talking me up, you know? Making everybody think I'm really good. They're gonna go play golf with me and they're gonna beat me. And they're gonna be like, this guy's like really not that good.
Hey, I
But,
just learned.
yeah, career
not
change.
to interrupt, but I will get back to that in a second. But I just learned an important life lesson. If you are in an exploding tank, you don't just have to give into it and accept your death. Apparently, you can eject. So just keep that in mind.
Okay. It is
Because
good
I
to
had
know.
been embracing my death up until now. But yeah, so you changed careers. Now you
Yeah,
have.
golf pro for 14 years.
Whew. Well, so the
Yeah.
problem with Golf Pro was that
Now
your
I'm a
hours were
mortgage
crazy.
loan officer.
Yeah.
They were, and I'm not like I loved it too, and it provided for my family for a long time. But like, you know, just like being available on weekends and stuff like that, just really couldn't do that. And then having a ton of employees was part of that deal too. You know, so I had to. Even if I was off work, you still had 30 some employees that you're
We're not going to be able
having
to
to
cross that gap.
manage. You know. So the greatest thing is that I don't have any employees now. It's fantastic. Like when I'm off work, there's no one calling me. And not to say that I don't get phone calls after hours or on weekends, because I still do. But I mean,
Nothing
but
like
most
it
of the times
was.
no, and it's stuff that I can handle myself, or I'm responsible for myself, because it's it's just different. It's awesome.
I remember like how many times playing with you and it's just like, oh, I gotta go. I just got like an insane work phone call.
Oh yeah.
Like your life
That
is
may
kind
happen.
of.
I mean, at the back, yeah, at the kind of at the will of the job a little bit, but it was great. I did really enjoy it. But I had a little bit of a life change, and so in that, the golf business was really great for like me personally, as far as like because I love to play golf and stuff like that. But and not saying it didn't provide for my family, because it certainly did for a long time. But most of the benefits I was receiving were more personal benefits rather than my wife and kids weren't getting everything out of it that I was getting, if that makes sense.
Hey, unlimited golf shirts for the kids. That sounds like a benefit to me.
Well, and that was actually one of the cool things, is I never had to pay for clothes, literally, and now, I mean, they were all golf clothes, but
Yeah, I was about to
Love
say
golf
your kids
clothes.
would have eventually forced a change in that anyway.
well, I say that clothes for myself, but I did.
There's probably a way to extend the bridge. Let's find the
A lot of my clothes were a little bit loud. I had a lot of white pants and some colorful shirts and stuff like that. So in my new job, I still wear like polos and slacks and stuff, but they're more
Muted.
quiet and more muted. So I got rid of a lot of stuff. It's just probably. Now I had to buy button-ups. I had to buy probably 8 or 10 button-ups because didn't own any. We got 1, 2, or 3 that I never wore.
Good, you ever visit me in New York, you are set.
Why?
Button-ups as far as the eye can see. Like,
Oh, that's what everybody wears.
Yep. Yeah.
They're growing on me. And I don't have to wear them to work, but there's like if I'm going to an important lunch or if you know, I'm doing like an open house, like you know, you want to look a little more professional.
That should
They
give
look
us a way across.
constricting, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Button-ups?
Like,
Well, it
yeah.
depends on how you wear them. So a
I guess.
couple of guys in my office are super fashion. So they wear stuff that's a little tighter fitting and not weird tight fitting though, but tighter fitting. And so my stuff's a little looser fitting. And some people would maybe say it didn't look as good, but I disagree. I think it looked fantastic.
I mean, for me, it's like I wear dresses all the time. All of my, like, most of my clothes are like scoop neck and stuff that I can't even wear like traditional guy style t-shirts without feeling like I'm being choked.
I gotcha.
So it's just like the idea of having like a shirt buttoned up and it's like buttoned at the arms. That's just. Ugh.
Well, I would never wear them before, and I always felt. I think part of the reason is when you don't wear something for so like, and then you put it on, you feel like this is. I feel like what I always tell myself, self-conscious about kind of the way that I was dressed and the way that I was like, I feel like this doesn't look good. That's where words of affirmation come in handy for me because my mind gets going. I'm like, I look terrible. I know I look bad. Like she's like, you look great. Blah blah blah. So she built into that, which is nice.
Aww.
But you know the biggest change was?
What?
I wore a hat to work every day of my life
Oh.
for 14 years. Yeah. So like, this is gonna sound weird or maybe gross, but like, I'd never put like a brush in my hair. Like, I have pretty short hair, but
Well,
I
your
never
hair's
brush my hair.
short.
Like,
Yeah, it's not. That's not
Yeah.
that gross for you.
But-
It'd be gross for me. My hair is like
Right.
waist down my waist. I would look like a witch if I didn't brush my hair.
But of all the things that have changed, I think that's the biggest change still is that I have to put product in my hair in the morning. Now that I would like fix it.
Oh, you have nice
That's why I
hair,
love
though. I'm
Saturday
sure it's
mornings.
good.
I'll throw that hat on. I got a little bit of the receding hairline going though. It's a little.
It's not. Well,
it's a little
I mean,
sketchy.
I'm just going off pictures.
It's a
So
little
Ben and I are friends on the social media, but have never met IRL. So I'm just going off pictures to be fair, but it's never. I don't know. It's not noticeable.
I agree. I mean, I appreciate that. It's nice.
There's my word of affirmation for him.
I feel really great right now. I'm on top of the world.
Well, because I think you're probably in the stage of receding hairline where it's honestly just kind of ambiguous whether it's just like you have like a higher forehead or not. It's not in the like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, no. But I think part of that was just I've never fixed my hair. So there's this thing in the front of my hair, like when I push like my, I guess they're bangs, I guess whatever the hair in the front of my face is. When
Do
I
you have a
push them
cowlick?
up because I don't
Do you
like
have
it
a
to
little
lay down on my
cowlick?
forehead. No.
You have a little
No,
cowlick.
but underneath the bangs, there's like this little bitty tiny like hairs that like don't move. They're so short, like they're just like, I don't know what you would call it, but it's
Interesting.
I'm like, what do we? Yeah. So I'm figuring all that out.
'Cause I totally have a cowlick, but because my hair is so long and heavy, like, cowlicks don't really affect girls overly much. But my father has one too.
I didn't even know girls got them.
Yeah, well, anyone can. It's just that because our hair does, tends to counterweight it, you don't really notice it.
That makes sense, I guess.
But I inherited it from
I
my
had a terrible
dad,
cowlick
so
growing up as a kid.
yeah, my dad was like straight up alfalfa. I hear, like.
Dang, I'm fighting this big gate lord right now.
Oh yeah, he's large. ruining my tanks. These tanks are not very, well built. These are not particularly well built tanks. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah, we need to talk to the designer. So have you been using sidearms much? Because I freaking love them. They're awesome.
I haven't. I'm still kind of in the stage where I'm just like using whatever is highest, honestly. I have an exotic now. You're gonna get one. You'll get your first exotic gun in a couple of missions.
Is it the
so
cold thing?
No, I haven't looked up how you get that yet.
I think you got it when you finish the campaign, is what Mike told me.
That would make sense. No, I'm using one of the ones that you got given. Did you try all of the characters in the beta?
Oh no. I only tightened.
Okay. So all the characters had different... They all had different exotics that you were given in that one mission. So the Hunter got...
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I can't remember what the Titan got, but the Hunter got, like, a solar...
I got the little hand cannon. I mean, the little, hand cannon. Sidearm. Solar sidearm. Did get a sword yesterday.
Nice. But yeah, so the Hunter's got a hand cannon, I guess the Titan's got a sidearm, and then the Warlock's got basically Zalo Supercell 2.0.
Oh, cool.
So those were among the selections when I got given it this time, so I went with the Zalo 2.0. So I'm using that and the auto rifle.
Okay, I'm with you.
Oh, the pulse rifle
Auto
looked
rifle's
cool.
the best gun in the game so far.
I'm liking it. They really, yeah.
Yeah, they're powerful. They're pretty stable. There's not too much ammo. Like I think it's probably the. Even though I did get a pulse that I like too. It's kind of fast firing ish, but pretty stable. So I've enjoyed using that one too.
See those generators?
That one, right?
We need to take them out if we're going to board that carrier.
Got my light level too much.
It's interesting that the missions are very varied this time. There's a lot of like moving in vehicles and stuff.
It's great. I'm impressed. I'm happy with it. I might be requesting your special assistance after you finish.
Are you trapped in like the room with all the millions of things that are spawning and exploding?
Nope, I did that already. I'm fighting the big gate lord thing.
Okay, how to describe it? There's a place you can hide. There's a place that I hid, basically. It's kind of like go up, it's like the door where you first walk into the room. I think he can't quite shoot into that corner. And I was able to just kind of like hide there and like pop out, shoot him, and the enemies didn't really bother me. But of course,
I'm gonna switch weapons and see if that helps.
Of course, if you're still there, I'll hop in and help you.
Nope, that's an auto rifle. That's not what we need. Let's see if this helps some. Get a little more range.
I like that I can drive over loot and get it. What I don't like is that all my stuff is full.
I dumped a ton of stuff in the vault. I'll have to delete a bunch of it here soon.
Yep.
Well, I was like you, I was keeping all those blues because I thought we needed to, but it turns out we don't really need to that much.
Someone said keep blue scout rifles.
Yeah.
So.
I got like 90 light level blue helmets sitting in there, like.
Yeah, so one member of our clan kind of came into our group chat room and was like, save all your blues, and then never updated us as to why, and we kind of assumed there was a reason, so I think a lot of us have just kind of been holding on to all blues. Say there would be like some mission that would be like, hey, like throw 1 million blues in here or something, and no. So now we all have vaults full of random blues. I'm supposed to be shooting something and I can't tell what.
Totally Rambo in this guy. Killed him. Okay. I'm also by the way, I'm the person that's gonna buy all the greens from What's-Her-Face. Like, oh, there's a green that's 6 light levels higher than mine, I'm buying it. So I have like 1,000 glimmer.
Yeah, but honestly,
even though you're
it
gonna
seems...
get something similar or better really soon.
No, but it honestly seems like you're going to be getting glimmer pretty easily.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I honestly, and...
I'm not that worried about it.
Yeah, and doing that will help you level faster ultimately anyway, so I think it's fine.
We are on like a, so me and my wife started budgeting differently than we had in the past, much more aggressively, like, as far as like, so we use an app now, and it basically, we have to track all of our spending, and we only allocate ourselves so many dollars for, you know, different things each month.
Right.
And it's just a way for us to kind of get our, not that we ever had issues with finances, but
No,
just
it's
a way for us
smart.
to kind of be on the same page. It's
Basically way
easy
to
to
be
keep up
grown-ups.
with and stuff like that.
It's what grown-ups do.
Yeah. Yeah, so like we have a what's called a MYOB in our monthly budget, mind your own business. So like, yeah, so that way I can find, like, you know, it's only like, I think mine's 25. I get $25 a month, and she gets 40. So I spend mine on almost exclusively on coffee. Like that's like going to CC's or Starbucks and stuff like that. That's pretty much what I spend mine on, and she usually like saves hers up, does something like, you know, buys, I don't know, whatever, clothes, or, you know, we have a clothing allowance, things like that. But anyway, so we're like,
More clothes.
it's been great for us to be able to, yeah. Well, my wife's super frugal. Like, she's always been like a non-spender. So what's crazy is, like, I've been a freer spender, I would say, not a big spender, but like it's easier for me to spend money. And she just, like, her mom and you know, they grew up, they didn't have a lot of money, and so she's just real. She'd rather just not spend it. So it's
Right.
actually allowed her to be more comfortable spending money, which I know a lot of people are like, "What's wrong with you? You're insane. You want your wife to spend money," but like.
No, that makes total sense because
But, like,
she
I'd be
knows
like,
that
"Hey,
she
let's
won't
go
go
to dinner."
over her budget or whatever. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So it's been really great for us. Like, it's
No,
been
that
great
makes
for me to
total
kind of like
sense.
make sure, you know, hey, make sure this is something you really want to buy, and make sure you have it budgeted this month. If not, you may have to wait till next month.
right.
And it's been super good for us. But so like, she still like has a hard time, like, I guess, letting go of like saying, I'm like, hey, let's take the kids to dinner tonight, you know, just because, you know, that way we don't have to cook or whatever. So we'll like pull up the app and look at it together. I'm like, see, it's right here. We have it budgeted.
That's actually really
So anyway,
helpful.
in Destiny 2, I'm spending all my glimmer. It is helpful.
Well, no, 'cause
Like,
it
we have a
makes
little
sense.
vacation tab. We have a Christmas line, you know, and you know,
So
so
what
we're
app are
saving
you
for
guys
Christmas,
using?
and it's called YNAB. You need a budget. YNAB.
Because I need a budget.
It's, well, everyone really should do it. I mean, no matter how much
Yeah.
money you make or how little you make, it's just a great way for you to. Plus, it forces you to put all of your expenses down on paper, and kind of evaluate, like, is there something we can get rid of? Like, we realized we were spending like maybe around $1,000 a month at the grocery for a family of 4.
Oh, wow.
And so we, you know, by not changing a whole lot, we are now spending $700 a month on groceries,
Nice.
just by being a little more prepared and like taking, you know, an extra probably 30 minutes to make a grocery list. But I mean, $300 a month, dude. Who couldn't use $300 a month?
I'll take it. See,
I
the
know.
problem.
And really, like I said, really didn't even do anything.
The problem I'm in is I'm a bit like underwater financially. I live in a very expensive city, and I try to be very frugal with my money, but unfortunately I'm making less than even my base like needs covering, Like, everything I
Yeah.
make in the month doesn't cover my rent, my student loans, my transit, and just like basics like internet and like cell phone. Like, what I make doesn't even cover that, unfortunately. I'm in the midst of figuring some other stuff out that'll help me long term, but right now it's like making a budget wouldn't help because it's like it's just so.
It'd probably just make it like more depressed. Like,
Honestly, yeah.
like it would just like highlight what you already know. You know? Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just like I get it.
And I think part of
can't
that,
stick
like,
to
my
it.
wife thought the same thing. Like, she was like, I don't want to do that because I don't know if I want to see everything. She did want to see everything, and we're not in a similar situation. Thankfully, we're super lucky. But
Yeah.
but it's scary to face your finances head on because that's such a big deal in everyone's lives. We had neighbors down the road who once we started doing it, and like we've mentored like 3 people on like kind of how to get started.
Mhm.
Because they saw us doing it, and like now that what it takes to say a no, to some stuff we would normally say yes to. Like towards the end of the month, somebody's like, "Hey, you want to go to dinner with us?" And we, if we don't have it, we just got to say no.
Yep.
So
Now
anyway,
that's.
that was a super boring conversation for Twitch.
Well, the one person watching us is a 19-year-old Peach, so it's probably good life lesson stuff for him. See, drifts off to
Dude,
dream about
That's
koalas.
awesome.
I'm just crazy dismantling shit. Now that I know that I don't have to hoard every blue, just like.
So I just got an email, a purchase agreement for this young guy. It's like, he graduated to a big boy job, I'll call it. Super nice guy. He was real nervous, speaking of finances, about how much he could spend, and we've been working with him for a couple weeks. So they just found a house and got it. It's exciting.
See, that's crazy to imagine. So Ben, in case you can't tell, lives in the South, down in Louisiana, where Louisiana, where potentially someone fresh out of college could buy a house. That's not the most likely elsewhere.
Student loans, though, that's what the number one reason a lot of people with great jobs can't buy houses.
Yep, that'll be me. Well, it's funny because there was this article about how, millennials are spending all their money on avocado toast, and that's why they'll never buy a house. It's like, no, y'all, you guys ruined the economy for me, and now I'm never gonna be able to buy a house because it took me a long time to get a job out of college because, because everything was fucked up.
Right.
So yeah, so I don't particularly want to hear anybody's lip about my avocado toast. Like,
I don't even know what that is.
oh man, maybe it's more of a northern thing. It's basically what it sounds like. You get some toast and you toast it, and then you put an avocado on it, and then sometimes you get fancy and you put other stuff on it. It's very popular at brunch or whatever.
So did you do that and put a fried egg on top of it?
That is a thing people will do, yeah. That is a thing people will do.
I don't like avocado.
Well, then you definitely wouldn't like avocado
Does that
toast.
offend you?
It doesn't offend me,
Yeah.
but
No, I'm kidding.
it's one of the 2 main ingredients, so guessing not for you.
Yeah.
No,
Just gonna
I'm
throw this out there. I don't ever want to assume anything.
I'm vegetarian, so I eat a fair amount of avocados just because they're like a good source of fatty proteins and stuff that I won't get elsewhere.
Hey, so speaking of that, so you've been obviously working on your health and your fitness and stuff like that, which is fantastic. I commend you for that. Like, have you changed your diet? I know a long time ago we talked about your diet some, and like how you had a kind of a weird diet, especially being vegetarian.
Oh, I've definitely changed my diet. So I started trying to really get in shape.
Like, what have you added, taken away? Yeah.
Yeah, so I started really trying to get into shape about like a year and a half ago, and it's worked. And so part of the problem was I used to eat like an overgrown toddler, where I would just eat like yogurt and like peanut butter and jelly and stuff like that all the time, and it was not the most healthy of things. Peach says hi. Ben is going to bed because it's 3 in the morning in Australia.
Unbelievable, Peach.
Yeah, that's our little peachy poo. But yeah, so I started trying to eat a lot better. So basically, what my nutritionist said is that anything I eat, like my meals should be about like 50% greens, 25% like complex carbohydrates / grains, and then 25% protein. So, like, what that ends up looking like is like I'll have a lot of kale quinoa bowls where it's just like kale and quinoa and sweet potatoes and tofu and dressing. Or I'll make like egg scrambles, which is basically just like scrambled eggs, but then also I'll put in like peppers and kale and some quinoa. I eat a lot of quinoa. Stuff
Spinach?
like that.
Are you a big spinach fan?
I like spinach, yeah. I like all the well, the one thing
I love spinach in my eggs.
The thing about me and vegetables is I'm already picky in terms of being vegetarian. I learned quickly on I couldn't be doubly picky. Like, I couldn't be like, well, I'm not going to eat meat, but I'm also going to be precious about which vegetables I eat. So, I eat pretty much all vegetables. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to add that extra layer of, like, oh, but I don't like beets, and ew, like, gross.
Yeah.
So, it's like...
Yeah. I get that.
So yeah, so I eat all vegetables. So yeah, it's like I'll throw some spinach in there and stuff. So it's really easy and it's good. It's not the most exciting, but it's fun. So I've been sticking with that for a while. I've now kind of like hit a bit of a plateau in terms of losing weight. So I might be switching to something called keto, which is
Keto's fantastic. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, but keto is hard on vegetarian.
It is very because there's a lot of meat.
Yeah, so I'm a little hesitant about.
Well, that's what I was
that.
going to ask. That's kind of what I was wondering about is your protein. Like, where do you get most of your proteins from?
Eggs.
Which I assumed eggs was a huge source, but
Eggs is a huge source. Tofu's a huge source. You even find it in like quinoa and stuff like that. Beans. Yeah, I haven't really been like protein deprived in years. There was definitely a period in my life when I first went. So when I first went, I went vegetarian when I was like 13. And when a 13-year-old goes vegetarian, what they basically end up eating is like pizza and
right.
mozzarella sticks and peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it took me a while to learn like the actual tenets of like nutrition, how to get what I had cut out. Like that's the thing. It's like initially when most people go vegetarian, they just cut out meat. They don't learn how to replace it. That's totally different.
Okay.
But yeah, so you're liking the keto.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's fantastic. I mean, I basically did it. Like, anytime I had any success eating better that's basically what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Basically did low carb, high protein, low sugar. I mean, this is just basically a way to, it's just an easier way, a lot of recipes out there with it, so.
Yeah, see, the big problem I have is a
easy to follow
large
along.
part of my diet is, like, I have a lot of smoothies, and so that's, like, I know bananas are a big no-no on keto, and, fruits and vegetables are a little
bananas.
sketchy, so I would have to really reformulate how I eat, and that's a lot of work, so I'm not quite ready to keto yet.
Right. You're doing fantastic. You'll figure it out. I mean, there's no like keto is obviously it's a trend right now. I say a trend, but people have been doing it for a long time before it was called keto. So
Yeah. But it is very in the air now, as I would say. Like there's a lot of people who are doing it. Although it's funny, so I'm currently doing this like weight loss competition with a bunch of folks from online, and it's interesting. I was actually thinking about floating and seeing if our clan wanted to do one similar, maybe like next month. And it's just kind of interesting. It's like basically it's a way to gamify like fitness, because like you get points for like taking a photo of yourself working out and sending it to the group, and you get points for eating something healthy and sending it to the group. And it is good. It kind of like, it does keep you a little honest. We have one girl who's doing keto, but I don't think she's doing it quite right. Well, first of all, like, the breakfast that she sends every day is like these like 7-Eleven like salami and cheese packs. And I do understand that that is like some of keto, but should you really be eating like dried salami like every morning? That
Yeah,
seems...
I think one of the things that is that I would agree with that. There is some you can get away with some stuff. For, so they have these things now called P3 packs that Oscar Mayer makes. It's probably what you're talking about, but or it's basically like a Lunchable. It's turkey and cheese and like some almonds, which is good to a point, but
it just seems so salty.
Also
well, I mean,
not, well, yeah, the sodium is the part that's the issue, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. So, did you go to Sacrilege before you went back to Earth?
what is Sacrilege?
The fourth planet that opened.
There's a planet called Sacrilege?
Sacrilege, yeah. Go to your destinations and tell me how many circles you see.
I don't
including
think...
Crucible and the farm.
I don't know that I can do that right now. I think I can only see like on this planet.
Oh yeah, you hit map and you press right button, you should be able to look at it, huh?
Let me see. Oh, there you go. I see Earth, Io, Nessus, the farm, Titan.
Oh, Io.
Crucible.
Sorry. Io. Yep, the mission's called Sacrilege.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Raid secrets here. Ben just discovered new stuff. I was so like, what did you just like stumble onto? Because you never know, that's the thing. Like, it's possible that you somehow hit some weird combination of something and open, like, a secret, like, that's a possibility. That's always a possibility in Destiny, that you somehow stumbled into, like, some secret planet that'll give us a new exotic or something.
Especially me. I'd be the one that, like, accidentally finds the biggest secret.
It's just like, hey, look at that. Anyway, but yeah, well, and this girl, so I get, like, those P3 packs, but, like, sometimes, literally, she's like, this is my lunch, and it's, like, a bag of, like, beef jerky. I'm like, that...
Yeah.
That can't be okay. This girl also seems a little wobbly on the concept of... So, again, like, it's not that you're supposed to send photos of everything you eat to the group, but you're supposed to send photos of, like, healthy things you eat to the group. Like, and you get points up to, like, 3 healthy things you show a day or whatever. One day, she's like, I'm at the country fair, and she's, like, sending photos of her eating, like, corn dogs and, like, whole cakes. And I think the moderator is fine. Like, I think we're... I don't think any of us think fair food is, well, because her thing was like, well, I'm being restrained, and, like, I'm only eating a whole cake and, like, 2 corn dogs. And we're like, well, but that's still not healthy. Just you're showing restraint, which is good, but I don't think this is going to help you on your weight loss journey.
That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah. So I just think her grasp of nutrition might be a little off, but every time someone mentions it, she's like, no, this is what keto is, and I'm just like, I don't think keto is like beef jerky and corn dogs. Like,
I think that you can do beef jerky. I think that it's not something that you should use it's more of a snack than a meal. And it's certain kinds are better than others. Like Slim Jim is not going to be on the category of things that are probably high up as far. I mean, you probably can get away with it in that pinch.
Yeah.
You know, like a hot dog. Like if you eat a hot dog in a pinch and you only eat the hot dog and not the bun, like, you know, that's in a pinch. Like you are making a good call. Like for example, if you go to you have Chick-fil-A in New York?
Not a ton. No, it's fine. I've decided that the things I will mention publicly is that I live in New York and work in marketing, because that describes a lot of people, so I'm not concerned.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not as many as you have down in the south. That's for sure.
Well, like the reason I mention that is because like LSU football game, right? And you know they're around dinner time, and I'm hungry, right? And there's popcorn, and there's nachos, and there's all this other kind of stuff. Well, you're in a pinch, you need to eat, right? So make
Right.
a decision. You can either eat a hot dog and just not eat the bread, but they sell Chick-fil-A sandwiches there. So Chick-fil-A sandwiches are 100%, you know, chicken, and now they are fried, which brings a lot more. But eating a Chick-fil-A chicken patty is 100 times better than most any other option you can choose in that situation.
Right.
And it passes the test, you know, as a situational thing. So anyway.
Well, so for me, how I lost a lot of weight initially, and what I'm still kind of hewing to, is what's called CICO, C-I-C-O, calorie in, calorie out. Basically, you know, eat a certain amount of calories, move a certain amount a day, and you'll be fine. Just eat a deficit. So I could still lose weight and eat like 1,900 calories a day, but I try to stick to 15.
Oh yeah.
You know, just because. And so that's kind of, so for example, and that, I like the flexibility of that. Yesterday, it was a very long, crappy week for me, having to go to work while being sick, and my throat still hurt and everything. After work yesterday, I was like, fuck it, you know what I'm having for dinner? Frozen yogurt. Not the healthiest of choices, but I was still under my allotted calories, so it's okay. As long as I don't do it every day, because I mean, the sugar would actually kill me, but God, I love frozen yogurt.
I think that's the thing with I mean, it's just about like being restrained.
Basically.
It's the same thing like we were talking about with finances. Like, yeah, just use restraint, and you know what's, and also knowing what's good for you and not good for you. Like what's really good for you. Like, you know, bread is not something that probably is a great thing for you to eat all the time. You know, and
Yes, but much like Oprah, I love bread.
We're almost
oh yeah,
going.
who doesn't? I mean, honestly.
I mean, I am lucky. I do genuinely
greatest
love. I love kale and quinoa and vegetables. I actually do love those. So I'm lucky there. But yeah, I love bread and cheese and frozen yogurt and other things that are terrible for my overall health.
Right. I love
Just
cheese
sad.
too. Big cheese fan.
Well, at least you can have it on keto. It seems like that's pretty friendly.
Cream cheese. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, the one thing
cream cheese.
that helped me lose weight that makes me sad that I had to give up was bagels. New York is such a bagel city, and yeah, bagels with cream cheese or bagels with egg and cheese. Those had to go by the wayside.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna take a time out real quick.
No problem.
Guardian. I've done my part. Now go take care of Thumos.
Hello?
What?
I'm back. I'm back. Getting lunch ready.
What you having?
Orange chicken and rice.
Nice.
Yeah, we Trader Joe's has this really great chicken. It's like frozen. It's got a little sauce, but it's good. Perfect lunch.
Sweet. Yeah, I haven't been to Trader Joe's in a minute.
Yeah, that's certainly not on the keto. So another thing that I did this time around when I'm doing my so in the past, all the success I've had has been being very aggressive and being super disciplined and like really like hardcore, which you kind of have to do.
Right.
But this go around, I'm doing more of like the weekends I can kind of, you know, eat and have sweets, like a little bit, you know, and I'm not a big sweets person, but like more just enjoying, you know, football season and stuff like that, and just so it's certainly not as effective, but quality of life's a lot better. I don't know what that noise was.
You'll find out in several missions.
I don't think I'm ever going to catch up with you. I think that I realized that these things take longer than I thought. I thought I could barrel through some of these.
Yeah, the missions are very, very long.
I don't mind it though.
It is good, yeah. I mean, are we gonna have to replay them as much as we did in like Destiny 1? It seems like not.
You don't think so? So it like carries over to our other characters?
Oh, well, yeah, no, sorry. I didn't mean that. I just meant like in terms of like daily story missions or whatever.
Oh. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a boss fight, which is the least fun thing to do in Destiny by yourself.
Freaking Taken, dude. I mean, what the heck? Fusion rifles and PvP are ballin', by the way.
Are they?
That conversation yet.
That's good. Yeah, I only did shit. I only did the one mission and just kind of ran around with what I had. But the getting the heavy is so hard though.
It's either like I found it's either super easy or super hard. Like you either happen to be the only one standing there or the entire freaking world standing there, or close by. I had a couple good matches though. I was positive. You know, one was like a. I still don't know how to read the numbers because it says something about your efficiency rating. I don't know if that's your KD or not.
I think that's KD. I think that's just
Well, then I had two pretty good matches.
nice. zone. That'd be so neat. I just hate like one of those moments when you just don't get a moment to recover, basically.
Yeah, no matter where you go.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I would be fine if my health bar could recharge, but...
You think your health recharge is a little slower than a D1? Or maybe it's just because we don't have all of our perks all the way up, probably, actually.
I don't know, it feels about the same. It's more just about, like... Oh, fuck this. I think it's more just about, like, finding the moment when, like, everything will stop firing on you. Stop firing. I've almost got this big guy down.
Dang.
I'm gonna be so annoyed if, like, fucking, like, ads take me down when I've taken down, like, most of the bosses. Like, it's like moments like that where, like, playing Destiny by yourself is kind of drag, because, you know, you don't have anyone to help or draw some fire.
Back you up, yeah.
Or just, like, fucking revive you so that you don't, like, wipe, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even that
I think
would be nice.
I don't want to say spoiled, but like we've been super fortunate to have such a great active clan that you know that you almost always, I say all, but almost always have someone to play with if you want. You know, if you.
Well, kind of. Right now, it's actually a little fractured because. Oh, thank Christ. Right now, it's a little fractured though, because like a lot of the folks in our clan, like, took off work and kind of like sped through.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, there's actually not a ton of people kind of like necessarily at my level.
That's true. That's true. Me and you, slowpokes.